About 13 years ago, we were on our annual pilgrimage north to Cleaverville with our old HJ60 Land Cruiser and our big old tandem advanced caravan on the back. We'd not long passed the Calbarry turnoff and came up on a ridge, and we were clobbered in the side by a huge gust of wind. The caravan started to fishtail, and it just gradually got worse and worse. Eventually I could see the side of the van, first in one wing mirror and then in the other. It was a really serious situation, and I didn't have time to even think about what to do. Thankfully, it was a straight stretch of road and there was no oncoming traffic, so I got the Land Cruiser right in the centre of the road and slowly increased power. The van settled back down, but a few seconds later there was the noise of a tyre disintegrating, and we had to find a place to pull off and see what the damage was. It turned out that the van had been swaying so violently from one side to the other that one of the tyres had torn apart, and in what was not really an ideal place to do so, I had to replace it. It all happened so fast, and it was completely unexpected. I wasn't new to caravanning either. In fact, I've been using this van and others for years, and we had load shifting bars and a Reese friction device installed, but we were still caught out. The van was loaded correctly, and that's probably what saved us from rolling over. This video is an attempt to look at the possible causes of caravan sway and ways you can use to try and avoid it. As our experience shows, even when you're well prepared, you can still be caught out, and we were lucky to avoid complete disaster. The new trend of towing caravans that far outweigh the towing vehicle is simply dangerous. Experts on this subject say that a caravan should be no more than 85% of the weight of the tow vehicle. If you think about it, that makes sense. The towing vehicle is the one in control, the one responsible for keeping everything straight and level. If the towed vehicle is heavier, then when something goes wrong, it becomes the boss and starts to dictate the behaviour of the towing vehicle. This is known as the tail wagging the dog. There are a number of things you can do to avoid caravan sway, and these include: reduce your speed. The faster you travel, the more unstable everything becomes. When our incident occurred, we were doing about 80 kilometres an hour, and that probably contributed to the fact that we didn't roll over. If I'd been going faster, there's every chance that I would not have had the time to correct the sway. The next thing to pay attention to is weight, and we've touched on that above. The heavier the caravan is, the more likely it is to get out of control and take the towing vehicle with it. Just because your nice new shiny four-wheel drive says it can tow 3 tons doesn't mean that it's sensible to do so. Manufacturers making these claims are downright stupid because they do not take into account real-world situations. One of the main causes of caravan sway is incorrect loading. Too much weight on the front or rear or on one side can seriously undermine the stability of your caravan. Heavy items should be kept as low as possible in the van to decrease the centre of gravity. Medium weight items can be placed a bit further out than heavy ones, and light items should be the ones up high or at both ends of the van. The majority of the weight needs to be as central as possible, or with offset wheels as close to the wheels as possible. A little more weight needs to be on the front than the rear, but the ball weight, that is the weight pressing down on the tow ball from the caravan, should be between 10 and 15% of the van weight. For example, a van weighing 1.5 tonnes should have a ball weight of between 150 and 225 kilos. You can check the ball weight of your van by purchasing a scale, or many dealers may be able to help you out for a small fee. Too much bore weight is just as bad as too little. The angle of the van from front to rear is also important, as is the angle from side to side. It should be as flat as possible and not tilt up or down at one end or lean to one side or the other. Get an adjustable tow hitch if you need one, and if needed, get the rear springs of the towing vehicle beefed up a bit to avoid any kind of sagging in the rear. Avoid extended tow bars. They decrease the stability, so if at all possible, use regular length towing bars. Other things you need to ensure are correct tyre pressures. This is something you should do even with day-to-day driving, because your life literally rides on your tyres. Take extra care when driving downhill. Doing so causes the caravan to want to overtake the car, so drop your speed to increase stability. Gusty wind, as you will have seen from our personal experience, can be deadly. You can't know when it's about to happen, but if you're always well prepared in other respects, you may get a better outcome if it ever strikes you. We were lucky, but we were also well prepared. Wet roads and uneven roads are also the cause of stability problems. Again, the solution is slow down and be loaded correctly. One of the most dangerous aspects of towing is overtaking another vehicle. Vehicles have a pressure wave of air in front of them, and the bigger they are and the faster they go, the bigger that wave is going to be. Most people will have experienced this as they pass large trucks coming in the opposite direction. The pressure wave can shake your vehicle as the trucks go past, and just because you're heading in the same direction doesn't mean that that pressure wave suddenly disappears. As your vehicle goes past the front of the truck, it encounters first a low pressure and then a high pressure segment of air. This can easily start your van moving from side to side, and it has been a cause of multiple caravan rollovers. Don't overtake unless you really have to. If there's no choice, then you should make sure you have plenty of room and don't unduly increase your speed, because this immediately reduces your stability. If in doubt, just don't do it. After all, you're on holiday, so why do you want to rush? Just sit back and enjoy the drive safely. If you're being overtaken by a large vehicle, then maintain your speed. Don't slow down before the truck is beside you, and definitely do not speed up.